I'm Kristi Gustafson Barlette with Times Union and TimesUnion.com, and welcome to 20 Things Plus, where we catch up with somebody previously featured on the Times Union's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me. Today we are joined by Megan Baker. Megan is the owner of Baker Public Relations, and they have two locations, including one in Albany. You also may remember her as a reporter and anchor in the local news, including Fox and Spectrum. Hi, Megan.
Hi, that was so long ago, Kristi. Thank you so much for having me on here.
You know, I was rereading your original 20 Things to prep for this morning, and I thought, oh, right, because of course I think of you as this public relations powerhouse now, but this is kind of like your second career because you did that as well.
It's crazy. I mean, it seems like moons ago, which it was. And then when I spoke with you last, when we did the 20 Things, I mean, I think that was, 3 years ago now?
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, I'd rather be on that other side of 45. Now I'm on the opposite side, getting closer to 50.
Well, you're one of the most amazing looking 50-year-old women I know, so I would wear that age with pride. So,
thanks, Kristi.
So the way this works is we'll update 2 of your original 20 things, and then we'll go on to learn 3 new things about what you've been doing since your original list ran. So let's start by updating, and this is a professional one. I know you talked about how you were from Pennsylvania outside of Pittsburgh, and you had connections there with family and sports teams, but now you have another connection there. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I grew up in Butler, as you mentioned, which is just north of Pittsburgh, and I am happy to announce that we opened a second location back in late 2019. So we've been chugging along for about a year. Obviously, with the pandemic, it hurt us somewhat because we were focusing on hospitality and food and beverage clients, when we first landed in the Pittsburgh market. So we had to shift our focus just a bit. We're working with a nonprofit, the Chuck Cooper Foundation. Chuck Cooper is a basketball Hall of Famer, and so we're working with his son on the foundation, and we have an energy client that we've been doing some crisis communications work for, as well as an attorney, a law firm in the Pittsburgh market. So we're getting there. We have a person full-time on the ground, and he's been opening a lot of doors. He previously worked for the Pittsburgh Pirates, so he has that connection too, which is nice. But we're enjoying it. It's nice to be in the city that I grew up. I have my whole family back there, as you had mentioned, my parents, my 95-year-old grandmother, aunts and uncles. So it's nice to get there more frequently.
That's awesome. And I feel like if you're launching a business, the majority through the pandemic, because it was obviously only a few months without it, and your staff are there is doing well, then you guys will be able to do anything, because that's pretty impressive.
Definitely. And it's, Pittsburgh's a hot market too. I mean, it is nice, as you mentioned, obviously sports teams. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, diehard. Not happy with the way they've been performing the last 2 games, but that's for another day. But it's nice. It's nice to have that connection, to get back to your roots, and to be able to have the best of both worlds between Pittsburgh and Albany. Very
cool. Now, I know I follow you on Instagram, and I've seen photos of you lately horseback riding, and your daughters were horseback riding. And I think you have an update on what's going on in your horse ownership world, right?
I do. So when I was about 31, again, going way back, I decided that I wanted to buy a horse. So I bought a horse, at that time, and then, life happened. So I had a horse, and I grew up with my 2 older daughters, riding and enjoying taking lessons together and just being in the outdoors. And then I found out, fast forward, that I was pregnant with twins. So after 3 horses later, I had to hang it up because the twins, it was time consuming, and obviously owning a horse is time consuming, and there's a lot that goes into it. So finally, my girls, my youngest now are 11, identical twin girls, and we decided it was literally time to get back into the saddle. So we have been enjoying horseback riding together. We've been doing so at Gray's Stables, and I will be making a trip to Montana. Been looking at Whitefish, Montana, to be exact, which is northwest near the Glacier National Park. So I'm looking to go to a ranch there and then bring back definitely 1 horse, possibly 2. So quarter horse.
I you have twins, so I feel like 2 is in the cards. Both of your daughters, your younger daughters, can have a horse to ride.
Yeah, and they enjoy it. It's something that, you have no fear when you're younger. I wish it's something I had taken up when I was much younger because as you get older, you get fearful of breaking a bone.
Right. Minor detail. You'd like to keep
Right.
everything out of the past. That's a good goal. All right. Now the next one with your three new things. The first thing is you started this web program called Influence Her. I'm familiar with it. I did it
Yes.
with you early on. I've been following it since. You've had people both in Albany and in Pittsburgh, and talk to us a little bit about how that's been going.
Yeah, so Influence Her is a video podcast series that we launched in July of 2019. And really what we're looking to accomplish through it is just to be able to tell some amazing stories of remarkable women in our community, women who have maybe faced challenges, who have, survived cancer, you name it. But it gets me to return to my roots as a former journalist. And I really enjoy sharing other stories and just learning about people in general. So we've taken Influence Her on the road. Not only, did we launch it here in Albany, we also expanded it to the Pittsburgh market. And really the goal is to go national with it down the road. So we're looking to do that. We have also expanded our creative services studio. So we're going to be doing more production in-house here, at Baker Public Relations, and looking to bring in more people to help share stories. And I appreciate you, being on and having you on there. Learned a lot about you. And we've interviewed golf pro and TV broadcaster Dottie Pepper, cancer survivor Andrea Como, who is in the local community, and then Pittsburgh University athletic director Heather Like. So we really have a diverse group of women that we've interviewed so far, and really enjoy doing it. And then the COVID-19 pandemic did not slow us down. So what we did is we just kind of retooled it, right? Instead of doing in-house, in-person production, we decided to just do it the same way that we're speaking right now, doing it virtually. And that's helped us significantly. And it's been giving some people something to look forward to during these times as well.
And I know you share those on the Baker Public Relations Instagram, and then people can also find them on your YouTube account as well.
Yes, thank you for that.
All right, so now the next one, like I said, I've seen the photos of you riding a horse, but the second one I didn't know about. I hadn't seen any photos of you doing. You're taking up a new hobby, and you're taking some private classes, right?
Yes, but I decided to take up private dance lessons. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a couple of years. I've just been pushing aside. And then with the pandemic this year, I wanted to give myself something to do. So I have been taking private dance lessons since October at Fred Astaire in Latham, and have really been enjoying it about once a week. I wanted to take up salsa to begin with, but I'm really diversifying by taking up waltz, the cha-cha, the Argentine tango, what else? Salsa, of course. I'm just really enjoying it, and it's bringing me outside of my comfort zone. Now, I did dance in high school, so I do have somewhat of a background, but my instructor, who's Russian, Yuri, has talked me into doing a virtual performance next month. So we'll see how that goes.
Isn't it? It's addicting. My husband
Yes.
and I started to take dance lessons before we got married, and we're just like, oh, we'll do a 3-pack. Oh, no, it's a 6-pack. Now we're going to keep dancing after we're married. It
Right.
is so fun. It's great
fun.
exercise. It's a fantastic hobby, and I love hearing that you're doing that, because it really is. It's a whole body and mind experience to take dance lessons.
And it's relaxing, it's just the two of us usually, because of COVID, you're limited to the people in the room. So, wearing masks, which is completely different, but I'm really enjoying it, and it's my time, and it gives me, time to myself, and it's something that I look forward to each week.
That's fun. That's always a fun activity. Now, I saw you said too that you started skiing again.
Yes.
How are you doing that right now? Or only a couple of months are open. There's some limitations of what states we're allowed to go to and where we're not. So how's that working?
Good. I'll be making a trip to Whiteface on January 1st. We rented a house for about 5 days, so I'm looking forward to spending some quality time with the family. Skiing, I grew up cross-country skiing at Lake Chautauqua, and with my grandmother when I was like, I think 10 or 11 years old. So I've always been athletic and have enjoyed skiing. And then I got into downhill skiing, when I was a teenager. So it was time to pick it back up. I mean, obviously, again, with kids, a lot goes into having and raising 5 children. So for me, to get back on the slopes with them was important. So like 2 years ago, we got lessons for the kids and decided that it was something that the whole family could enjoy. So it's nice to be back. I did have a pretty bad fall. I think it was like 22 years ago that really shook me up a little bit. And it was at Whiteface. So for me to be able to return there and face my fears, it took a lot of courage. So looking forward to it. I don't know that I'll go to the top of the mountain, but I think intermediate slopes are just fine and where I need to be right now.
Well, you had talked with the horseback riding about how kids can be fearless, but as adults we become more cautious. Do you find the same thing with skiing, that your children are more fearless than you tend to be?
Absolutely. I couldn't believe, that we got them a lesson and within a half hour, 20 minutes, they were already skiing down the hill. So, it's just the natural, they're natural athletes as well, which I think helps. My son had a little bit more of a difficult time because he took up snowboarding. So that was more of a challenge for him. So I think he's going to try skiing this time around.
Well, good. And like I said, hopefully you'll be able to go to places. Hopefully we'll all be able to go to places outside of New York too.
And we live in the Northeast, so you have to embrace the outdoors.
Oh, tell me about it. Absolutely. I agree. All right, thank you, Megan, so much for joining us today. But before you go, we play this little game at the end where I'll give you 3 clues, give you and viewers and readers 3 clues as to who will be featured on Monday's Times Union 20 Things You Don't Know About Me. So they can take guesses by tweeting at Just Kristi, tweeting at Times Union, or commenting on this video on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. And I'll give you 3 clues. We'll see. Just to give you a little forewarning and make you not feel bad, we think only about 15 to 20% of people get it right. And most of us who will say, oh, it's that guy who does this or that lady who's there, but they don't actually have a hard name like, oh, it's Megan Baker from Baker Public Relations. So it's tough. So here we go.
Stump me.
All right, in 2000, I was the lead designer for Ann Taylor's first e-commerce website. I was born and raised in Saratoga Springs in the Adirondacks. No matter where business and vacation take me, there's no place I'd rather call home. And I chose this last one for you because it's horse related. I shot my first TV commercial on a harness racetrack, comparing the speed and agility of 3-year-old thoroughbreds with the fine-tuned German engineering of BMW's certified pre-owned.
Wow. That's stumping me right now.
I'm going to give you one more clue too. Her last name is the same as the town you grew up in.
So Butler.
Yeah. All right, well, it is a tough one.
Jamie Butler, right?
You got it. Yes, that's her. So she's a powerhouse. She's awesome. She skis too. 60 miles.
Yes, okay.
60 miles per hour. I thought she's kind of like your spirit animal there. She's 60 miles per hour, clock going downhill. She's a successful entrepreneur and businesswoman, and she will be Monday's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me.
That's fantastic. That's exciting. Can't wait to see that.
So that'll be cool. And thank you again, Megan, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. This has been a pleasure, and happy holidays to you too.
You too.